CBBC.
Hello, this is Evacuation to the Manor House.
On today's show, Prado Hall brings home the bacon.
Children, mind yourself.
Things get heated with the fire warden.
You are the one thing standing between Hitler and the destruction of this house.
And the evacuees show themselves up.
Bang, 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 bang goes the farmer's gun.
It was just really embarrassing.
We've got a brand new group of boys and girls and taken them back nearly 70 years to wartime Britain. To escape the city bombings in the Second World War, more than 1 million children were evacuated to the countryside. And some got to stay in massive houses, like Prado Hall.
You rang, my ladyship?
Our evacuees have struck lucky with Lord and Lady Olsted, but life in the country hasn't all been a bed of roses.
I'm not gonna have to go over that. Putting that off was born.
They've realised even out of the city,
And leave this house now.
the enemy is never far away.
Anyone could be a German spy.
Give the enemy a face that will make them turn on their heels and run away in absolute fear. Ready, steady.
But after almost 2 weeks, they're finally used to life in wartime Britain.
I do feel like I'm part of the family now. I'm part of the Olsted family.
I know it may seem like a really short time, but when you're here, it's almost like having a lifetime together.
It does feel like a second type of family.
And today, the family's about to get bigger.
Prado Hall has some new guests.
3, to be exact, accompanied by local farmer Mr. Ward.
Come on, pigs.
We've got a delivery.
Come on, pigs.
Miss Victoria's just said that we've got a delivery in the garden and that they need our help.
Our evacuees have got to grips with sheep, pheasants and goats. What will they make of 3 little piggies? They might look sweet, but they shouldn't be munching those flower beds. Luckily, Mr. Ward has 13 evacuees to help put them in their new pen.
No, you're not listening, children. Okay.
After a bit of squealing, they eventually give in. The pigs, that is.
I really like these pigs, they're really cute and they're just all running around and it's just really fun.
But one thing all the evacuees should have learned by now is animals aren't pets at Prado Hall.
John and I have decided to call them breakfast, lunch and dinner.
I know what the pigs are here for, but I don't really want to think about that.
Like it or not, these pigs are here for fattening up. Until then, Mr. Ward has one he prepared earlier.
Sean, if you put this into the big...
What is that?
Mind yourself, children. Mind yourself. There we go.
Is that pig?
It's a pig.
That is nasty. Thank you very much. How exciting.
Mary is a big fan of bacon, but she doesn't want to know where it comes from.
Now we're going to cut this up so Cook can make you some tea.
I don't see it like that. I see it when it's like just on my plate, like with it filling there.
The one thing about a pig is that we don't waste anything. Okay? There's only one thing we can't use on a pig. It's the squeal.
I don't think they're ready for pig jokes just yet, Mr. Ward.
Mary, you going to join us?
Maybe in a minute.
Just come and stand and have a
I'm a
look.
bit disturbed at this moment.
What I know, Don, if you come and listen to Mr. Ward.
So I'm going to put that there, and then Cook's going to turn that into ham.
You've eaten sausages, you've eaten bacon.
I like it, but not. I've never seen half a pig on the table.
But Mary, my love, this is it. This is how it starts.
This is where your bacon comes from now.
This is how we get all of those
Yeah, but
lovely
I don't
foods.
see it when it's like that. I see it when it's nice and cooked with full English breakfast. Not like that.
From day one, Mary has struggled with 40s food.
Pigeon pie, no?
Ugh.
She refused point blank to eat the kippers.
You're going to try it, Mary. Mary, I am insisting that you try it.
And she disliked getting her hands dirty when it came to preparing dinner.
Oh, God, what's that?
Although she's been quite happy to tuck in when it's on a plate.
Mary, I haven't got time. You're going to come join us or not?
In a minute, maybe. I just, need to breathe.
I've got to get on.
The dead pig caused a big stir at first, but most of the evacuees are facing up to the food facts of life.
It's important to take an interest and find out where all the meat comes from, where you get your pork, where you get your bacon and where you get your sausages from, because it doesn't just appear in the supermarket, it comes from somewhere.
It is a bit gory, but I can't wait to see it cooked and eat it and everything.
Nice to meet you all, children. Perhaps I'll see you soon.
Time to make some good old-fashioned sausages.
This is sausage maker.
If Mary wants bangers and mash like everyone else, she needs to get stuck in.
So we've got our breadcrumbs here, so I want you to mix that in, and you've also got your herbs there.
Sausages were in short supply during the war, so they would have been a real treat.
Right, and you need to thread it onto the end, because it's a hollow.
Making sausages is a great job, but will Mary be tempted?
The idea of actually making our own sausages is just brilliant.
At last, Mary starts thinking with her stomach.
Hold the end! Hold the end! Hold it there. That sounds so keep going, Rachel.
After 2 weeks of being fussy about food, it's a real improvement.
I think we have turned a corner with Mary. It's taken a while, but does realise now that we have to do these things.
I feel pretty proud that I've done some of that towards it, and that we've made our own sausages, and they're probably going to taste nicer because we made them ourselves. Every meat, obviously, it comes from an animal, but that you just need to just get along with it and just get along with life.
With bombs dropping all around them, the nation did all they could to keep their spirits up. And in the days before TVs, DVDs and computers, they had to make their own entertainment. And the third little pig made his house of bricks. And the wolf huffed and he puffed, but he couldn't blow it down. The end.
Unfortunately for our evacuees, Miss Young is in charge of fun at Prado Hall.
I have the idea that a short evening's entertainment is in order from you, the evacuees, for Lord and Lady Olsted. This is not a formal lesson.
Brilliant! Putting on a show for the Lord and Lady has got to be better than class.
It's quite quick, and it goes like this. Run, rabbit, run, run, run.
This tune wouldn't be a top 10 hit nowadays, but it was very popular in the 1940s.
Bang goes the farmer's gun. Run,
I was just dying to laugh, My face was going purple and blue with, holding the laughter, and it was just really, really, really embarrassing.
But it won't be Miss Young singing tomorrow night.
I don't want to slow it down, so at my speed. Ready? Run, rabbit, run, 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 run.
Run, Rabbit, Run is the most abysmally poor song in the history of abysmally poor songs.
And just when they thought it couldn't get any worse, there's a routine that goes with it.
Second row. Run, rabbit, run, run. Face forward.
I thought it was a nightmare, but it turned out to be real life.
I'm not particularly pleased about having to do Run, Rabbit, Run, but it's Miss Young and it's Prado Hall, and you can't really say no.
La 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 la.
With Run Rabbit Run in the bag, they move on to the next highlight in the evening's entertainment. It's Miss Young's version of Strictly Come Dancing.
La 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 la.
At first I thought it was something that old people just do, but I found out that it was quite interesting. I thought that I was pretty decent at it.
To be honest, I know it sounds really unbelievably stupid, but I prefer doing that to how I dance normally.
La la la.
Well, it looks like one bit of the entertainment is a hit, and Jack has high hopes for the audience.
The Lord and Lady are going to be impressed. I know they are.
there's nothing like a bit of waltzing to work up an appetite.
Enjoy your dinner.
They look too nice.
They look cool.
When our city slickers arrived in the country, they thought meat came pre-packed. Now they know where sausages really come from.
Nice, Mary.
Oh, this is good. To be honest, seeing like the whole process today of the pigs and that, I think I've calmed down more, because in the beginning, if that would have happened like on the first few days, I would have been like, I'd still not be talking now. I'd be like in like tears.
I think it's been a massive learning curve and experience for Mary. And I know that when next time she goes shopping and she buys a packet of sausages, she will think twice and probably appreciate it more when she takes them home.
It's a big day for the evacuees. Tonight they'll be putting on a show for the Lord and Lady. But it's not just their performance they're worried will stink.
I think because we haven't been able to take baths as often as we do at home, everyone's BO has slowly been sinking.
I really do smell, and it's really not attractive.
I think the clothes do smell a little bit because like they've hardly been washed in 2 weeks.
There's only one thing for it. A good scrubbing.
With no washing machine or tumble dryer to get their clothes clean, the girls are going to have to get their hands dirty.
Come on, find some more socks. You must have some more dirty socks.
In the 1940s, washing was women's work.
I think it's extremely funny that the girls have to do the smelly socks.
But the girls don't find it quite as amusing.
Would you like to take it down, all right? And that goes to cook in the kitchen.
You'll have to wait and see, Mary. You never know what might be in there.
Do next then.
Oh, nice pants.
Sexy. Get it. Spandex.
Yeah, with the other.
After a quick wash and mangle, they're as good as new. And there's nothing like an hour's hand washing to make you appreciate all the mod cons.
It takes ages with the washing machine. Just put the washing in, click the button, wait for an hour, then it's done.
And I'm just so glad that I live in the future, because the past is rubbish.
With the washing sorted, the evacuees can concentrate on cleaning up their performance.
We enjoy singing, and every time we sing, we always end up happy, so we'll have a good time singing while they just sit there and watch us.
Hold your horses, Sharon. His lord and ladyship need to be invited first.
Dear cook, I would very much appreciate an invitation to dinner.
Even with a war on, in the 1940s, country estates like this would not have let standards slip. There was a correct and proper way of doing everything.
P.S. Exceptional coconut macaroons.
These invites have been handwritten by the neatest writers, Sharon and Nish. They haven't got far to deliver them, but that doesn't mean it'll be straightforward.
This is very, very important on how we're going to present these messages. I will knock on the door, I will open the door. Come in. You will go up to her ladyship. You will make sure the invitation is facing her. Arm behind the back, you will bow. They will take the invitation.
What's this? My goodness me. I would certainly love to accept that invitation. Thank you very much.
Remember, we leave the room without turning our backs. Why do we leave the room like that? Why do we not turn our backs on her ladyship?
Because it's disrespectful to show your back to someone of such stature.
Well done, Nish. Now all you have to do is open the door without looking. Looks like this tricky manoeuvre needs more work.
I couldn't find the door handle and then it got stuck, so when I was leaving the room it went a little bit iffy, but otherwise it was good.
Despite the awkward exit, the invites have been very well received.
Do you think it would be a good idea to ask the children in to join us for dinner this evening?
It's a tremendous idea. They deserve it. They've worked jolly hard for it.
It would be something rather good to do, wouldn't it?
And we enjoy their company. Yes, let's do that.
A slap-up 3-course dinner. Tonight should be one to remember. But the evacuees shouldn't forget there's a war on. Perhaps a visit from the local fire warden will remind them.
These are evacuees, and I believe you're going to teach them some fire watching today.
Hopefully, if they're in the mood to learn. If they're not, they'll probably burn.
In wartime Britain, if your house was bombed, it was at serious risk of catching fire. If you lived in a big pad like this one, it could be up in flames in a matter of minutes. And during the war, with emergency services stretched to the limit, you had to learn to put it out yourself.
And first in the fire protection lesson is how to deal with unexploded bombs.
1. Incendiary bomb. These things are dangerous. If you don't listen to what I'm telling you today, they will kill you. Now, these devices, when they hit, set off a detonator. That detonator, after 60 seconds, will explode.
These are replica bombs, but ones just like them were dropped in their thousands during the war and caused mass destruction.
You've got to find that. You've got to approach it with your bucket of sand. You smother it with the sand. Once it's safe to do so, we're going to move it. We come in with the scoop and pick it up in front of you. Then you will walk to a safe area where you will put it down. 1.
With the evacuees split into teams, they've got to prove they can deactivate the bomb and dispose of it properly. Remember, lives depend on this.
We're going to defuse that bomb and we're going to show everyone how it's done.
Right, pay attention! When you hear the whistle, I will be dropping the bomb.
The boys are taking the exercise very seriously indeed and are well within the 60-second limit.
Well done.
Good.
Even though the enemy targeted cities, bombs were dropped over the countryside. Luckily, our evacuee pairs are like well-oiled machines.
Well done.
Now it's the only team of 3, Sade, Jade and Mary. With an extra pair of hands, this should be a doddle.
What are you doing? I'm trying to help you. Go on.
I don't think they're taking it seriously enough. If it was a real bomb, there's every chance that it could go off.
Guys, you having fun, Mary? Help us, will you? Wait there.
Oh dear, it's a poor show, and right in front of the warden.
Right, the 3 girls that just did the exercise, 2 of you are dead and 1 of you are seriously burned.
I'm dead.
I'm bad. Excuse me. I'm alive.
You are the one thing standing between Hitler and the destruction of this house. And the best I can say at the moment is, if I lived there, I'd move.
Sparks will be flying if the girls don't sharpen up in the next exercise. Under the supervision of our strict fire warden, this cart here will be set on fire. He will then deploy our evacuees all the way down to the lake with a bucket in a chain formation. Our evacuees will then, through speed and efficiency, douse the flames of the roaring fire in a matter of moments. If you believe that, you believe anything.
Be up to you to get the water from the lake to the fire, and we'll see exactly how you go about it. Everybody grab a bucket.
Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler? If you think we're on the
Keith, spread up!
The pressure's on. That could be Prado Hall up in flames. Nish has been given the most important job of all, supplying the water.
Rachel!
They say a chain is only as strong as its weakest link.
You have the water! Wait, Nish!
And so far, Nish has been more brains than brawn. He wowed Miss Young in lesson time.
The game's afoot. Follow your spirit, and upon this charge cry.
That was stirringly said.
But try as he might, he didn't have the muscle for mucking out.
Oh no!
Nish gave it his best shot, but the sandbags defeated him.
I'm sorry. It's okay, it's my fault.
This bucket chain could all go up in smoke.
That's it, done.
We got no more water yet!
But it looks like he's finding the strength from somewhere.
No! There!
Amazingly, Nish has pulled out all the stops.
for the girl in the yellow coat.
Pass the buggies! Back down!
Fire's out!
Physical exercise was the thing I despised when I first came here, but the sense of urgency that it's a fire and that you need to put it out is what I guess sort of spurred me on to do really well. I was just pulling them and filling them and doing it again, and it was amazing.
Nish really impressed me. He's only a little lad, but he's worked really hard, especially on the bucket chain, and he really put everything he had into it. Very impressed.
Dinner is served.
For the first time since they arrived, tonight all the evacuees will be dining with Lord and Lady Olmsted, and Mr. Henderson wants to make sure they're up to the mark.
Some of the children haven't dined at a formal dinner. They will not let themselves down, and they will not let me down, and they will not let Her Ladyship or His Lordship down tonight.
When the evacuees first turned up at Prado Hall, their modern manners left Mr. Henderson in a state of shock.
What are you doing? You're not using your fingers to edge cabbage with, are you? It's like pigs at the trough.
And he's been on a mission ever since.
No, you're shoveling it in. You're a lady. Give me like a lady.
What they all need now is a Henderson masterclass.
Tonight we're attending the formal dinner, but I have to make sure that you know how to sit and dine at this table.
With the clock counting down to dinner, there's a lot to pack in.
So we say grace, grace. Grace has said, sit down. Gentlemen, you take the chair for the lady. Come on! We know what to do. This is a very important dinner. We will do this all together. And when I ask you for an item, I want to see it up in the sky. 1, 2, 3, napkins. On the lap. 1, 2, 3, soup spoon. Butter knife, please. Up high. Wrong knife. Wrong knife. Wrong knife. This is your butter knife. This is a side knife.
Butter knife? Side knife? Crikey, who knew there were so many?
Will I have the confidence at this table this evening that you will have the highest standards I've ever seen?
Yes.
Because I'll be keeping an eye on every single one of you at this table tonight. Do not let me down.
But before dinner, there's the evening's entertainment to get through.
I'm excited. I look good, don't I?
And one evacuee is having trouble focusing.
I just want to eat, to be honest. I know it sounds really piggy, but I'm so hungry. I look absolutely spiffy.
Good luck, boys and girls.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
That'll be nice.
Well, a lot of pressure and we want everything to be perfect. Not so we can impress the Lord and Lady, but now I think everyone's thinking about Mr. Henderson.
It's been brilliant.
Come in.
John?
Come in, do.
Your Lordship, your Ladyship, we have prepared for you a short evening's entertainment. We will now perform for you Run, Rabbit, Run.
Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Bang, 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 bang goes the farmer's gun. So run, rabbit, run, run, run.
Not bad at all, and that's just the start of their newly acquired 1940s talents. There's dancing couples, Sharon's piano playing, and Dan's surprise. Punch and Judy with a Prado Hall twist.
Mrs. Dobinson, are the children in bed yet?
Not yet, they're still restless.
For the big finale, Nish has prepared something extra special.
And now, Master Headgate will now read you his own poem.
This poem is entitled My Family. I never thought in a million years I could overcome so many fears. I came on a train, old and steamy, and then I met my family. One so funny that at the start I thought that he, so kind and free, must be at least the BFG. One's obsessed, idli and dosa. She makes me crave aloo parota. One's a doll, so sweet and kind, but you can tell, evil at mind. There are two from Liverpool. I love them both, they're so cool. There's one lad with odd sideburns, and then from there the wheel will turn. I'm at my Scottish Algerian friend, on whom I know I can depend. I now end with the 13th, but by no means the least. She's new, but she knows it all. She settled in at Prado Hall. I just want to let you know how much you mean to me, just because, at least for now, you are my family.
That's been a tremendous evening. We thoroughly enjoyed that. That really was very well done by everybody. You all played a great part in it.
Tonight, the evacuees have definitely sung for their supper. With everyone at their places, poor Scott realises too late he's got the hot seat.
It would go okay, but Miss Young's going to sit next to Scott.
Sit next to Miss Young.
For once, Miss Young is the least of their worries. It's Mr. Henderson they need to watch tonight. Surely even he can't fault the evacuees, as their table manners are impeccable.
The evacuees are dining in my dining room better than I've ever seen before. The children are just like young ladies and gentlemen. It's absolutely fantastic.
What an amazing transformation! And not just from the evacuees.
Miss Young, for once, let her hair down a bit and she actually dined with us, which has never happened before.
Overall, I think it was actually quite good that I was sitting next to Miss Young because she was actually really nice.
In all my years of butlering in the finest homes in England, I have never witnessed anything like that. That is one of the best dinner parties I've ever seen. Let me finish. I have never seen adults act the way you acted tonight. And I would like for you to give yourselves a big cheer. Right! Quiet! Get to bed.
Oh, I've been absolutely amazing. That was one of the best moments of my life. The best dinner party ever.
Just had a brilliant day, and I'm hyped and I'm ready to go. Woo!
In the last show,
The German war is at an end.
there's celebrations at Prado Hall.
I'm so happy. I'm so pleased.
The evacuees have an emotional reunion with their parents.
It's just so emotional.
Just a proper case then. And leave the 1940s for good.
Bye-bye.
Love ya.
Meet Leonardo.
Shh. Where is he then? Up to mischief, no doubt.
The artist. The inventor.
It's fantastical.
The visionary.
Don't you see? Anything can happen. With this, we could change history. Come on.
Leonardo, the boy who changed the future. Mondays at 5:15 on the CBBC channel.